Please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to know how much you know about Delmoni.
See, Delbumi, right now, I know that we use that for integration between two different systems, okay?
Mhm.
So mainly that we use it for inbound data flow and outbound data flow. So
Mhm.
apart from that, as we discussed during demo, okay, some email notifications and all, those kind of, uh, scenarios we can do that in Delbumi.
Mhm. Okay. Basically, that Boomi is an integration tool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, many integration tools are available in market. Right. If you go for
Okay.
well, like Dell Boomi is the integration tool from the Dell vendor. Dell is the provider. Initially, it was acquired by Dell is acquired by Dell company acquired the product Boomi product. Actually, the Boomi vendor Boomi developer is Boomi. Okay, Boomi is a company who developed the integration Boomi integration. So after that, the Dell has acquired that Boomi and then they name it as a Dell Boomi. Okay, now the way
Okay.
how the Dell Boomi have the integration, multiple vendors have multiple integration tools. Like if you go for IBM, there is a message broker. If you go from Microsoft, there is a BizTalk. If you go for TIPCO, there is a TIPCO. If you go for Oracle, Oracle Fusion. Like many things are there. But out of that, those are application integration tools.
Mm-hmm.
Application integration, application to application. Here the Boomi, like those are all non-cloud based things. One more thing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Boomi is the one is cloud-based tool, and apart
Mm-hmm.
and here, if you compare to other integration tool, like you will purchase the license for that complete package, and then you will install it, you will configure it, and you will set up the server, and like you need to take care of each and every platform activities. Environment activities.
Mm-hmm.
You need to set up and you need to configure. Maybe once you set up after some days, you may need to require a hot fix or patch that you need to do on every end. Like
No.
everything, maintenance, everything is like from your end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you go with the Dell Boomi, right? So since it's a cloud base and you don't need to maintain and everything, and you just pay the license for how many number of systems you are connecting. Just pay the license for that much. I'll take care of everything, maintenance, environment, all the things. Only thing is, and there is a one more thing they have given a flexibility, and this complete tool can you call it as a iPaaS integration platform as a service. Okay, nothing
Okay.
integration platform as a service, nothing but so they since it's a cloud based, they have they have developed a tool such a way that each and every part of an activity can be done remotely. Each and every function,
Mm-hmm.
you can say each and every function you can done remotely. You don't need to be having log into the Boomi also. If you need to start a process, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have an access to the Boomi without logging into the Boomi, you can start that from an external application also. You can start your process also. If you only the thing is, it just need to be deployed. If it is deployed on Boomi, that's all. You don't need to start. Even you can go ahead and start from another process also, another application also. Nothing but this is if you understand that success factor, how the Boomi is connecting to success factor is nothing but it's an API, application
Okay.
programming interface. Through this API, Boomi is accessing success factor. Similarly, that if you consider the entire Boomi itself is an service, API also is a service. In terms
Okay.
of a Java programming, we'll call it as a API. But if you consider as the integration for perspective and web services, they'll call it as a service. This is a service.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, that entire tool can act as a service. You can use some SOAP UI tools or any other tools. You can just trigger whatever you want. That's the
Okay.
flexibility of the tool, and even you can log into the mobile portal, and then you can do all your administration, all the things. That much flexibility is
Mhm,
there.
mhm, mhm.
And apart from that, those are application integration, and but this integration can also be used for the sometimes they'll alternately use for ETL tools also. Instead of using ETL tool, they'll use this Boomi itself. Like this
No.
can work data integration tool as well as a application integration tool.
Okay, it will support both on-premise and cloud, right?
Yes, it is about both on-premise and cloud-based. And for that purpose, Boomi has given us the option for whether do you want to set up the server on-premise or cloud.
Okay.
You have the
Mhm.
flexibility like if you are on-premise, they'll call it as a server called as a Atom. If you
Okay.
are setting a cloud, they'll call it as a cloud Atom.
Mhm.
So these Atom is like basically the runtime server. Whenever you start a process, all your process executions will be running on that Atom.
Okay.
So everything like how we consider this as a Boomi. It as a Boomi, and this as an external application, maybe a Salesforce or SuccessFactors.
Mhm.
Any application, even if you consider Salesforce or SuccessFactors, or then a SAP, and then if you consider this as a mainframe,
Okay.
like every integration tool, there is some common channels are available. What is the common channel? How these other tools will be integrating? Maybe the file using the file channel, or like all file protocols like FTP, SFTP, or through some web services. This is the way how the external application will be communicating to the integration tools in all these protocols. These are common. It will be common for every tool.
Mhm,
Even
mhm.
Java will work with the file FTP, SFTP web services, and other one also JMS. This is the one like a messaging base, Java messaging service. These are all the common protocols. Apart from that, if you
Okay.
want to go with a specific application, then we have a application connector. The reason why integration is coming to the picture, suppose you just consider SAP. SAP might be used some IDOC formats, and mainframe some uses some copybooks. So both are two different protocols, and as part of an like if you consider whole your enterprise, your entire business will be split across multiple applications. One application will store HR data, one application will be storing the invoices information, one application will be maintaining all your documents, maybe SharePoint. Like we have a different types of systems will be available if you consider as a whole enterprise. So if you need to integrate with these things, these all applications, and you need to uh, and you need to construct a complete flow. So since these tools are different protocols and different structures, and these tools directly cannot be able to communicate. So there should be some common channel that will be uh, communicating with these tools and exchanging information from one to another. So what are these common channels? Like these will call it as a Boomi integration. Okay, not only Boomi, if you
Mhm.
come in, if you replace the Boomi with any other tools like message broker or WebSphere or anything, you can just replace. But what is the common channel across all integration platform? How it is making fit into these two applications? Whenever you copy, like this is a SAP or SuccessFactor, whatever the native format is there, that native format data is being the native format data is being moved, will be converted to an XML here.
Mm-hmm.
because XML is universal. Yeah, there they will be converting it to XML.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever and like whenever these all things will call it as a connectors. Wow. See, in your other integration tool, they will call it as adapters. Okay, what is this adapter's role is? Adapter role is to connect to the external application and provide the data to the Boomi integration tool. Once the data is available to the Boomi, then Boomi will manipulate the data and execute the logic as you developed it. But
Mm-hmm.
how it will connect the data and external application is because these are all some common channels. These connectors they will call it as a technology adapters. They will call it as a technology adapters. Like these are common. And one more thing for this one, email also. These are technology adapter. And other one is the application adapter connectors. The technology adapters will be only this much. And if you go for
Mm-hmm.
application connectors, there will be different connector for every application. Like if you consider for SAP, there is SAP connector is there. If you consider SuccessFactors, there is SuccessFactors connection is there. If you consider Workday connector is there. Like these, there will be different application connector. What this application connector or technology connector will do, it will just connect to the external application and it will get the
Mm-hmm.
data. And it, suppose if you are already reading a file from XML, you are reading a file from your local system, an XML file, it's not required to translate the data. Technology adapters will not be coming into the picture and rendering the data. Only application adapters, right? It will be connected to the SAP application, and then SAP will have a separate data format. The connector has built such a way that it will communicate with the SAP adapter, and while return the data from success SAP, it will be written only in XML format to the Boomi.
Okay.
Similarly here also, how it will do, you again it will be all your manipulations will be doing in Boomi. All your manipulations are doing in Boomi, and once your manipulations is done, what it will do, again it will be transformed because all your manipulations will be done in XML.
Right.
Once you all manipulations done, then again you are sending the data might be back to same application or it might be the Salesforce. In that case, again it will be sending the data from XML, but that will be converted to the native format.
It
That's
is. It
here
is.
native format here it will be converting the data into copybook format. Or if it is
Okay.
Salesforce, it will be because it will be sending via what will you call it? It will be sending via API. So it will be converted to almost all API will use only XML. So it will be converted to XML. It's not required to translate the data, but it will be required to translate the data only from XML to XML. There will be different formats. In that case, you just need to translate the data and you need to send it. But here they will be converting the data from your XML format to native format.
Mm-hmm.
Connector actual role will be this one, this much. This is the
Okay.
exact, and there will be like a specific set of configurations. What you to start to configure this connector to the particular application. That will be only one-time task. Then it will be same across different. Will be common task. Once you configure the connector and the data is available to the Boomi, how you handle the data, how you translate the data, maybe if because you don't directly translate the data from one system to another system. That
Mm-hmm.
is rare. We'll do that, but that is rare. But before sending the data to the external system, like a target system, we may need to validate or we may need to send we may need to filter some data and we may need to do some lookups or validations and then translations. Like these like different tasks will be doing the Boomi. So
Mm-hmm.
all these activities, how we can achieve using a set of activities available in Boomi. So the connector
Okay.
itself is an activity in Boomi. So in the connector, you
Mm-hmm.
can connector is a generic. So As part of a connector configuration, you will be selecting which connector you need to configure. Okay, now you just come back to the Boomi, how it login. Okay, you just if you want to log into the Boomi, just go for Boomi, just hit the Boomi, and you will see the right side customer login. Just click on. So I'll share you the credential. Once you click on that, it will be login. Once you provided username and password, it will be like this. You can see the Boomi atmosphere. Basic thing, basic tabs will be build, deploy, and manage. So the build is this is the part where entire your process logic building is here only. That is the reason they'll call it as a build. You'll build all your process on build tab. Once you build it, you have to deploy those process on a server. That part will be here.
Okay.
Once you deploy it, maybe the process are scheduling on the on demand or event based, or might be on scheduling based. So all those things you can see the statistics on your banners. If you want, you can change some of the atom properties. You want, you can just stop the schedule or start the schedule, or maybe you can just stop the process, or maybe you need to rerun the process. Like all these things will be done on manage tab.
Okay.
This is the
So these
main.
are the
Yeah, these are the three main tabs available. Build is just for the building your logic. So most of our course will be concentrating on build tab.
okay.
80% because the deployment, because for every requirement build will be the different one, because as per customer requirement we need to build a solution. We have some certain set of activities, using those activities we'll build the solution as per customer. But deployment doesn't matter, whatever the customer requirement. If you have a customer one has some requirement and customer two has another requirement, but the deployment procedure will be same.
Okay.
Deployment is just making your process to be run on your server. That's all. So that will be common procedure. Only the thing will be vary. The way how you build the logic is vary.
We are just moving the data from build to deploy, right?
Yeah, it's not exactly and the process will call it as everything will build inside of one activity called process. Component will
Okay.
come like inside the will be moving the will be deploying this process to on an atom. Here we can set up an atoms. Okay, once you deploy successfully, and then you can start here in the process reporting page. Here you can just you have a execute process button, and then you can start and you can see that you can filter the past like you want to see only executions in the past hour, or you can drop down, you can see one weekly base or everything. So then you can see all the records, and even you can verify the logs and everything from here.
Okay.
So okay, one more thing, if you go for atom management, like it will show atom management, nothing but atom. What I told you, atom nothing but the runtime component. Atom management nothing but you just if you want to modify any atom levels properties, or if you want to delete an atom, just okay, first I'll show you how you can configure, how you can install. See, I told you earlier that we can configure the atoms a server either locally or cloud. So this is a locally cloud setup an atom. Okay, if you want to if you want to set up on cloud base, how we will do that. Okay, first let's see that how we can create an atom, because whenever we start developing a process, we don't need to configure the process and again, because this is only one time. Once you, even if you get into the real-time project, that your task will not be creating an atoms. Just go for build. Just go for build. Here you can see some of the activity, some of the functions to these functions will when you click on atom, it will create an atom. Click on certificate. This is like a, defining the steps. Click on
Okay.
atom.
Okay, this atom is nothing but, I mean, what is that we are going to do in this? I mean, this is
Runtime
the first
serving,
step.
all the processes will be executing on this one. This is a server.
Okay, all processes we are going to execute.
Okay.
Okay.
Click on atom. So it is showing that because since it's a trial version, it is not allowing you to select the local or cloud. Since only it is showing the local. Otherwise, it will be showing the cloud also. And now
Mm-hmm.
you just select the which version you want to download. Windows 32-bit or 64-bit, Linux 32 or Linux 64. Just click on 64 as per your system requirement. Then click on OK. It will be downloaded in one .exe file. Okay, this one the atom install.exe file will be gets downloaded. Let's click on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a way how you can set up an atom. I think
These
already,
are
I think
to
already it is
create
there.
a
I think it's already there. Let's okay. This one is already there. And while you install this atom, make sure to run as an administrator or run with a user who have the administrator privileges, and then it will asking you. And because this now one thing you need to understand this, because the Boomi atom is in sits in the cloud base. Okay, Boomi account is sits on the cloud base, but you are installing your server on local. So how it will be linked both? So
mm-hmm.
this will be when you click on next, it will be asking your credentials, username and password. Why it is asking for credential? Because this atom you are setting a local, and this atom somewhere you need to link this atom to your account, Boomi account, so that all your processes developed on Boomi account will be run on your server, on this server. Because without linking we cannot run, because both are isolated systems. That is the reason, as part of installation of an atom, it is asking for username and password. And these username password you need to enter the one you log in with this account.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the credential you are using for logging into this Boomi account. Initially, when you log in, when you just click on boomi.com and then it's asking for customer login credential. Whatever the username and password that you are submitting here, the
Okay.
same thing
Same
you
here.
also have to provide here. And this atom name
Mm-hmm.
you can just rename as whatever your name as per you. So
Okay.
that once the atom is set up, once your atom is set up, then it will be once your atom is installed, there will be one services will be running. Let me show you that services.msc. There will be one services. What the service name starts with whatever the name you provided under atom name. Here you can see that whatever the name. Because I'm just cancelling already install an atom. If you click on, if you provide username and password and click on atom, and next everything you take default. Like you won't have ask much options where you want to store your installed files. That all that only this will ask. Just take everything default and then click finish.
Mm-hmm.
And once you done, once you finish the installation, there will be one file will be gets created, one service that will be atom hyphen. This name will be the one you just provided in the that last window. So automatically it will be started. If you want to start and stop an atom, you just go ahead and do that. And you can see that once your atom is successfully set up, the same thing you are also able to see under the atom management. Under atom management, like these are the basic things, because our next class and notes I won't be discussing all these things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The atom. So now you can just select the atom, and you will be able to see some of the on which server and which system this atom has been set up. You can see some of the properties of the system. Now go for the startup properties. Yes, this atom is set up on a OS called Windows 7, and this OS version is this one, and this is a Java Hearts Java virtual machine name, and this is my architecture. What is the version installed? How much memory you have? Like it will show you some of the properties, and when was the last atom was restarted. Like all these options will be showing that what is the directory and everything. And even if you want, you can delete an atom if you have an administrator privileges. If you log in into the Boomi with an administrator privileges, even you have the option of delete an atom. But you should never do this option, because once you
Mm-hmm.
delete the atom, like everything logs and everything will be paused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you need to modify any some atom level properties, See, there will be two types of logs will be available. One is the process level logs, because on this atom you may be deploying 100 process. So nothing but for each process there will be one log will be generated, and entire whole server level one log will be generated. That will call it as a process log. That process log is specific to the each process you deployed on atom, and then and then atom log. This atom log will be just comprises of all the process one. If you want to download an atom log, here you can just go ahead and you can download an atom log. I'll show you where you need to download a process log later. Like some of the properties, if you want to modify the atom level properties, here you will be frequently coming and you modifying it. And then just go, because it's a trial version, you can see that if it is a trial version to show you how many days it will be expired. If you create an account, that will have the only 30 days of license. After that, it automatically gets expired and you cannot renew those things, license. And then this is the one more thing option called like setup. Okay, switch account, the option where you need to go for switch accounts, right? So instead of you logging into the multiple accounts, like when you go real time, right? So you will be having a multiple accounts, different Boomi accounts. Like one account might be for development, one account might be for UAT, one account might be for QA, and one account might be for production. Like you developed your process and you tested it's working fine, and now you need to move this process to UAT so that user will start testing it. So how you will move the data? How you will move the process from one account to the another account? The only way you have the option is you have to the same username, the username it should be linked it to multiple accounts. How you link it to multiple accounts, I'll show you that, because how we can view the different accounts. How? So in what the main functionality of this switching, right? Switching nothing but without prompting username and password. So you can log into the multiple accounts and you can switch across these accounts without needing to provide username and password each and every time you go to that account, and coming back to the previous account you don't need to enter. So that way, like what happens, suppose you need to move the code from development to UAT. In the build tab we have an option of copy. So if you unless until if you have access, you cannot move that code. I'll show you, but you can move the code within the account. You can create some different folders and you can move the code here. This is the switch accounts option. And then setup, you log out, setup, like some of the if you want to change your Boomi account password, or maybe you want to change the time zone, or you want to change email ID. Like you can do all the things. You can change your account names, and if you just go here right now, you can see that this is the account ID will not be editable. This is unique across Boomi. The reason is whenever you have some issue, there is a one team called Boomi support team. This is the one it will be providing support and community. When you click on the support and community, it automatically take you to the Boomi support Boomi support website. Like since you already took the license, so by default you will be having a Boomi premium support package. For that one, suppose you have started a process and you are not sure, like some process need to be done and you are not sure how to start. Maybe some bug is there in Boomi, and that is not making you fulfill your requirement. So you can chat with the Boomi and you can tell them that what are the different possibilities that we can do. So all these things will be directly chat with the because we don't have access. It is showing it will be showing a window called chat window that will be enabled every day 6 o'clock US time. So you can directly communicate. If you want, you can even raise cases also. You can just go, maybe once you log into the right account, then you can just go for a you can raise the cases so that they will answer you the cases. And even you can set up like WebEx meetings, everything you can set up. Next, thing is that like this user information. I told you if you want to change your any password related, you can just change your password and your email IDs, and even you can specify time zone also. And I told you how we can give the access to the multiple users. What you need to do, you just need to give an access. Just create a user here, and give the permissions, standard permissions and roles,
Mm-hmm.
so that you automatically, if you just give some other name, you automatically log in with your credentials. Nothing but even you are logging to the account, and I also log into the account with the two different email IDs. So such a way that they'll be giving once you are assigned as a developer for the project, they'll be giving you the access for the at least two machines. One is for development account, other one is UAT account. So instead of you login each and every account, what they will do, they will just add your user on the development account as well as the UAT account. So that so since you have a
Yeah.
access to the two accounts, you can directly like move the in between the accounts, UAT to development to UAT.
Okay, we are linking
This is a where
one.
licensing, I think, but I told you that Boomi will be charging the license based on the connections base. So because it's a trial version, you are not able to see that. If you once you log into the Boomi account, then you will be able to see like how many number of connections your client has taken a license. You can see all these things. How many purchase, how many things are deployed, how many things are available. You can be able to verify all these things. So the main thing you'll be coming across these things is sometimes because why when I require to verify this license. Reason is you have developed some process that have some connectors. Maybe you're connected to Salesforce, SuccessFactors, or the database, anything. Then you're trying to deploying your process. Then this is a place where exactly it will be verifying whether do you have a sufficient number of licensing connections or not. If the licensing connections are exceeded, if your process have the connectors that exceeded the license available connections, then it won't deploy the successfully. It will just show the error message saying that these many number of connections still you need to purchase. So because that's where they put a condition, they're just verifying that whether we have a sufficient number of connections is being licensing or not. So this only will be validated when you click on deploy. When you on the deployment tab, you will do the deployment. Once you're trying to deploy a process, then it will be automatically verify that. Then that time you'll just come back to and you can come and see that how many number of connections they have licensing and what type of connectors, whether it's how many database connectors they are licensed, how many SuccessFactors, how many Salesforce. Like you can see all these category over here, and even if it is deployed and which atom it is deployed and which process it is deployed, what type of a connector it is, and each and everything you can verify over here.
Okay.
And email alerts, like if you want to put any email alerts, like one process is generated an error or your atom is going to shut down, like if you need this kind of a email alerts, you can just set up an email alerts. Even once you set up an email alert, you'll be showing that what kind of a level you want, whether you want all information messages or warning or error. Basically you just put only error, because info right you'll be getting plenty of messages and it will flood your
Mm-hmm.
mailbox, and you can see the status bar, and even you can see the process execution. Nothing but whenever the process execution encountered, suppose if you put like this, like it means that whenever your process execution generates any error, it will then trigger an email alerts. Or whenever your atom status is keep on modifying, when atom
Mm-hmm.
status is going down, or even if you go for info, whenever your atom status changes will be doing, like somebody has restarted and you want to aware that process atom got restarted, and then you can configure an email alerts here. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
main basic tabs how we'll use that in Boomi. And one more thing is that here I forgot to tell you that the reference guide here. This reference guide is just a complete product documentation. For accessing this referencing guide, you no need to log into the Boomi account. Even you can access public. How you can access public? You just go for Google. Just hit on help.boomi.com. Okay, automatically the same documentation will be gets open here also. You can see that how to use the referencing. Like this is a product document, how in this document we cover each and everything, how the connector will works, or how what are different types of connector, how build tab you should use, and how develop and deploy tab. Like each and every functionality of all your Boomi atom will be described. This is the product documentation, Boomi product documentation.
Mm-hmm.
You can access public. And these
Okay.
are all the main options available. And only I already showed you how to configure an atom also. And then configure an atom, then we'll tomorrow onwards we'll just see how we can start the process, how we can build and start the process.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fine?
And one more thing, in user management, you said like one user ID, I mean, you
Hello?
can link to. Hello? Yeah, Vema, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
See, you said one user ID can be linked to, I mean, two different uh, multiple user IDs, right? I mean,
Yes.
it is just linking one user ID to
Like
development
it's
and
like able to,
quality.
it's just giving access to one more user to that tool.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we are just giving two, I mean, two access to two user ID, right?
Yes. So like you will be like there is a one server, and for that server there will be like multiple developers will be accessing, or multiple production support team will be accessing. So production team will be having separate access and developers will be having separate access. So
Right.
similarly way that you because you are a developer, you'll be giving access with some admin roles, and it's like you and with admin roles only for development. When you actually when you they are giving access for you for the production atoms, they'll give only the read only user.
Right. Their production related activities, right?
Yes.
So we are giving two user IDs, I mean, with or
This
two,
is
I mean, two
basically roles.
different.
Here you can see that. Here you can see the different roles. You can see that. This is a custom role. You just click on any atom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just. Okay, here you can see that. This is the administrator. You can see that how many roles are available. You can see
Okay.
account administration, account configuration administration task, atom management, atom configuration administration task, Boomi read access to processes and components. We provide this access right now. Once the
Mm-hmm.
user gets logged in, he just able to view that. He cannot modify anything. Developer, create and publish a new components using Boomi SDKs. Execute
Mm-hmm.
a retry available process. These are the different roles.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can create a user and you can assign it all these roles individually also.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this activity we have to do this, right? Real time.
No, this you basically you don't need to declare. So once you get into the project as part of your project onboarding, they'll set up you all your credentials and they'll give you username and password.
Okay. So basically, administrator will set up and we will give
Yes, that
access,
is not
right?
our job. Basically, our job is to only develop process and then deploy it and
Okay.
make sure that all working as per expected.
Mhm.